And I know they might look around and say, where's the media? This is actually historic. We have the Hip Hop Caucus with Amnesty, with ACLU, with conservatives. This is history. Where is the media? I mean, but I got something to say to them. The revolution may not be televised, but it will be uploaded. It will be uploaded. So right now, as I'm speaking, this is being webcast all around the world. So because of that, somebody make some noise. Hold your signs up. Hold your signs up and make some noise. Now you can do better than that now. Come on, come on. If you want to restore habeas corpus, somebody make some noise. Come on, come on, come on. You done heard from the streets. Now it's time to hear from the streets. Somebody make some noise. If you want to end torture, make some noise. Oh man, now you're ready. Yeah. Now you're ready. Yeah.
That yes, we're concerned about terrorism, but we are not going to undermine the Constitution of the United States as we fight terrorism.
Know that when we work to restore law and justice for those in Guantanamo, we work to restore them for everyone.
I'm here today because, as a conservative, I believe we can defeat our enemies without compromising the values that have made this nation great. As citizens, we owe it to ourselves to support realistic measures needed to protect our nation. But men and women of goodwill, regardless of party or ideological orientation, have to work together to make certain that our rights survive the stresses of the war in which we are today engaged and the zeal of those who, in fighting it, sometimes forget that it is to preserve these very rights that our fighting men and women go to battle.
That this is not just a left-right issue of progressive versus conservative. The truth of the matter is that what we are dealing with today on these issues are being conservatives. We are conservatives. Restoring the Constitution is conservative. Having the FBI going into our libraries, having the federal government going into our bedrooms, that is not conservative.
We are not a nation that imprisons the innocent. That's why we are here today to demand that our elected representatives restore the habeas rights of those we seek to imprison and remind those directing the war on terror to remember just what it is they're fighting to defend.
19 years ago, I was labeled an enemy when I was brutally tortured, and yet I was a teacher. Survivors here today are journalists, religious leaders, social workers, doctors, accountants, and lawyers. We were all labeled enemies, and we were all tortured by governments and their agents. So to think you are immune from this heinous crime of torture is to live in denial and apathy.
We say that habeas corpus must be restored. We say that it's wrong ever to use torture. Torture is wrong. We say that everyone has basic human rights. It was the former Secretary of State, Colin Powell, who said America is losing its moral compass.
in its fight against terrorism. We need to be world leaders standing up for human rights. That's been our heritage.
We all had been warned not to take our liberties and rights for granted, but who could have imagined that we would be standing here today arguing for the restoration of a right, the right of habeas corpus that was granted to English centuries before the founding of the United States. It is unbelievable that we are here today. The Quran says, "Do not let hatred of others towards you make you swerve from justice. Be just. That is closest to righteousness."
In the long constitutional history of this country, we are at a moment where we are called upon, those of us in this crowd and those who we represent across the country, where we are called upon to defend not only the essence of, but the letter of our Constitution. And are we ready for this moment? Because this sacred document, this text which binds us as a nation, has been under assault in a way that is unprecedented in the history of this country, where all of the causes that bring us together here add up to a recognition that we have an administration which has swept aside basic constitutional guarantees, and we know that they must be held accountable, which is one of the reasons why I introduced a resolution of impeachment of the Vice President. Because this isn't simply about the personality. This is about the Constitution, because the Constitution has a personality all of its own. And when we talk about restoring habeas corpus, we recognize that a fundamental principle of our criminal justice system has been trampled on, and we must reinstate habeas corpus. We recognize that this blot on our Constitution, called the Patriot Act, must be repealed, and I'm introducing legislation to do just that. We recognize that the Military Commissions Act must be repealed, and I'm introducing legislation to do just that. We recognize that America has a higher calling in this nation and in the world. We recognize the greatness of this country that is inherent in the principles which bring us together, celebrating the First Amendment. We recognize that we must save our Constitution, and that at this moment in time, everything we are, everything we will ever be, depends on us rising to this occasion to challenge this administration and their trampling of our Constitution, and I believe that we're ready for this moment. And so, my friends, here on this very warm Washington day, we come together in recognition of the same principles that were articulated in the preamble to the Constitution of the United States, because this is about we the people. Yeah. This is about reclaiming our nation. This is about restoring the rule of law. This is about standing for justice. This is about standing for the principles on which this country was founded. This is about living the deeper meaning of what it is to be an American. And I love all of you great Americans who are here today. God bless you. God bless this country. And God save the Constitution of the United States.